Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I know that this is not the best interactive platform that we can use, but it's the best way that we can get our virtual students at home involved. So I want to welcome everyone to today's presentation with Adam Aktas. Before we get to Adam, we have a short little sort of warm-up activity, and this is all brought to you by Student Council and a few tenacious, hardworking members of Student Council. And I'm really happy to be joined by one of them. She's going to be my co-pilot for this opening activity. So I just want to welcome Charlotte Kadir to the stream. Hey, you there?
Hey.
All right, Charlotte. So we have co-hosting duties. You ready?
Yes.
It's like the Oscars, like a good version of the Oscars, anyway.
Oh, it's like a burn.
So I'm gonna add. We have a little PowerPoint we're gonna go through here. So today's theme is trust, right? So how did you come up with this idea for doing a trust activity for Hope Week? And maybe you can give a little overview of what Hope Week is and how you guys came about it.
Okay. So I think where we should start is what Hope Week derives from. So anti-bullying. So it's basically just a bit of I want to say it's a rebranding a little bit, because what we kind of came to the conclusion last year, actually, before this pandemic ever hit, was that when it comes to bullying, when it comes to, like abuse and, anything along that line, it's that, it's hope that plays into the mix. A lack of hope, actually. So we were thinking we wanted to make this week about bringing hope to everyone's life, the bullies, the victims, just the bystanders. People need hope in their lives. And especially during the pandemic, like now, that's really what we need. We have no idea what's going to happen, right? So you can only be hopeful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I think a lot of people can understand that feeling and relate to that, and I certainly can. We're going to go through this. So I think you guys came up with a video for.
Yeah.
So let's start with that video. Okay, I think I can only watch it on YouTube, so I'm gonna. Hopefully, you guys get the sound.
Hey Westmount, my name is Lauren Dolan from Student Council.
Hey Westmount, my name is Sophia from Student Council.
Hello Westmount, my name is Mohammed from Student Council.
Hello Westmount, my name is Rose Mintzberg from Student Council.
Hey Westmount, my name is Simon from Student Council.
Hey Westmount, my name is Marley from Student Council.
And together we, the anti-bullying team,
have worked relentlessly to bring to life a project that we think you'll all enjoy.
An adapted version of our anti-bullying day,
now called Hope Week.
We know that it's not what you'd expect in a typical school year,
but we still thought it was very important to put something cool together all the same.
And who knows, maybe you'll learn something new.
Love that video.
Yes, a little cheesy, a little fun, kind of what we need.
Not at all. I love it. I think it's great. And if I didn't say it before, I want to thank everybody on Student Council for all their hard work on this.
Yes.
We have a quote here. Do you want to read the quote for us?
Of course. So this is actually a quote from one of our council members. She found this one. It's Yu Yao. Thank you, Yu Yao. So the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. And this is by Ernest Hemingway.
Love it. Ernest Hemingway, Old Man and the Sea and all that stuff. So as we're going through, because we don't have an interactive element, I have my phone here. Teachers, you have my numbers. Just text me if there's any issues, if you're having any audio issues, and we'll try to sort that out.
I believe in you all.
Yeah, we can do this together. I know we can. All right, we have a Kahoot activity that we are going to do. So teachers, I sent you a Kahoot link with a pin. So if you can log in, and I want you to, for your team name, I want the room number. So 201, for example, you can just put 201, and those will start popping up in my screen. I'm going to turn off my screen share for a second, just as those Kahoots start to populate. All right, we already got 202 in there. That's great. And so we're missing 5 more. So teachers, you have a Kahoot pin in your email. It's going to be at the top of your email. since I sent it just a few minutes ago. And just click on the link, put in the PIN, and then if you can just add your room number to the screen. 203. Nice job, 203. Who's going to be last? We have 6 options: 202, 203, 204, 205, 206,
Okay.
201. My money is on. Well, I don't want to say. I'm going to say 204. I think 204 is going to be last.
Ooh.
I think Mr. Odez in 204. So I'm going to say 204. Oh, there he is. He just got in. So 204 is in. Good job, Mr. Odez.
Bravo, Monsieur.
205. We're missing 205, 206, and 201.
I guarantee he's gonna have a word with me afterwards, being like, so
All right.
little faith.
Let's see if those teachers can get on. I think Mr. Reddick is there. Mr. Badal is there. Mr. Abed is there. Who are we missing here?
This is like a competition. This is like something between like the teachers at this point, like a staff
exactly.
competition. Who here is the most tech savvy? Who here is going to get?
We might have to start with just those 3 teams if we don't get any more. Mrs. Montague, Mr. Kangam, 205. Welcome to the party, 205. 201. And something that looks like a symbol, but it's not a classroom, but we'll go with it anyway.
We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
All right, we're going to get started here.
Fabulous.
Here we go. Let me share my screen. Hope Week Trivia. Everybody can see this, hopefully. In what country can you find the Suez Canal? So as a team, let's get that. Let's see if we can come up with the right answer as a team here.
All the content teachers.
You know what? I think there's a problem with the timing because nobody got the answer right, and there's a bit of a delay on the YouTube feed. So I wonder if that's probably what happened. Let's see.
Some of them, they vary with times, I believe. So it's like.
I wonder if I can do a quick fix here. You guys are going to see behind the curtain for a second. I might have to restart this. Or we can just do it. We'll do it this way, and unfortunately we won't be able, I don't think we'll have a chance to see who got the right answer. But as a team, in your classes, see if you can come up with the right answer, and the teachers will do those answers, okay? Unfortunately, we won't have a winner, but there's no real winners or losers here anyway. So.
Oh, but look at that, 202.
All right, how do you crack an egg? What's the best way to crack an egg? With your hands, with a knife, on the side of a bowl, on a flat surface. All right, and the correct answer was all of them. You can do it anyway, right? Any comments to add to that, Charlotte? I know that you created these Kahoots.
Well, technically, as my consumer science teacher would tell you, it's actually don't do it with a knife. You want to make sure to do it on a flat surface because you don't want to get the eggshells in. But this is how you crack an egg, right? So you can technically crack an egg however you want. But
that's right.
If you want eggshells in your omelet, that's not my problem.
Always did it on the side of a bowl. Is that not right?
That pushes the shells into, yep, no.
Wow, okay.
Do it on a flat surface.
Something today, Charlotte. See, this is why we have you here.
Surprise, surprise, learning things at school.
202 is in the lead with 0 points. And in last place, 201. Come on, 201. 0 points.
201, 0 points.
True or false?
We have a lot of time for this one.
Exist. Living rocks exist. Do living rocks exist? What do you think? This one you have, everything else you had like 6 seconds. This one you have 50 seconds. So everyone will actually get a chance to. So.
I want people to really think about this one. Really deeply. All the science teachers are like, they're
All right. So
all right. Good.
6 people say true. And I think a lot of people probably thought it was a trick question. I know that when I first got it, I thought it was a trick question. 4 people said false.
Exactly.
What's the thought behind this question here?
So the thing is that technically there is living rocks don't exist. Rocks are not alive. That no problem. But there is like a rock that seems alive because I think it's just coral. So people are like, that looks like a rock.
I love it. Okay, now we actually do have a leader, and it's an emoji team. So I don't know which class that is. It's probably 201. They're outliers. They're rebels. I know 201. All right, we're gonna zip through because we want to get to Adam in time. How many times can you subtract the number 5 from 25? This smells like a trick question to me.
Oh, yes.
And the answer is 1. Once. You can only take away the number 5 from the number 25 once, right? Because 5, 2, 5, take away the 5.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
That's awful. All right, and the next one is, where are the next Olympics taking place? Where are the Olympics, if they ever come back?
If ever again. I was about to like add a question, like just like a raised eyebrow.
Paris, France. We got 3 people. I thought it was Japan. Japan is also correct. I guess
technically, the next one is supposed to be Japan. Well, it was supposed to be in 2020. They had a perfect symbol for it too, but they're like thinking of doing it in July, August, hopefully.
Okay.
And the next one in 2024 is Paris.
All right, 204 is in the lead. And how many elements are there in a periodic table?
Oh, come on. I am hoping.
I think there's 4 elements. I'm going to go with 4 elements.
Have you been watching Avatar, sir? Is that what?
I have not, actually.
Seriously, it's super good. It has for an animated TV show aimed at like kids, it teaches a lot of life lessons.
We're having
I'm a big fan.
I'm starting to get text messages. I apologize if this isn't working out. There are 118 so far. Good point so far.
Worst case scenario, call out. Everyone's getting 0 on the ones that are very quick, so nobody's missing out.
And last but not least,
this one's a quick one. Act fast.
What is the yellow arrow pointing at on the diagram? Okay, this is for our math whizzes in the. Oh man, that was so.
Ooh, they were fast. They were like, no hesitation.
the apothem or apothem, depending on who you ask. That's it.
I always said
the winner is
the butterfly.
no,
oh wait, no, that's third. First place.
KYS. Good job, Kiss. All right, and we had runners up, room 204. I apologize for some of the issues on that. We are going to keep it moving here. I'm going to get rid of this. Leave. All right, back to our slideshow. We did have a discussion breakout set up here, but I'm wondering, just in the interest of time, because we are a little behind, I think we can do a little bit of we'll do it together if that's okay, Charlotte. So okay. I want teachers to post these questions. Have a little discussion. We're going to do it together. Now, how does it feel when everyone agrees with your answers or opinions? Charlotte, what do you think? How does it feel when everyone agrees with you?
Okay, so for me, it's like, well, everyone likes that validation, right? That's really what it is, like feeling validated and affirmed. It's like affirmation, right? Yeah. So when people like agree with you, you're like, you feel good. You're like, yeah, I am the smart kid, right?
I think that makes sense. And let's look at the second one. Let's say you're in a situation where you feel one way, but the majority of people feel differently. Are you comfortable expressing yourself? Please explain. Wow. I think this is a really timely question. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of opinions on a lot of different things and often don't feel comfortable expressing it right now because we are in a sort of divided culture and there's everything's sort of politicized and all that. So I think this is quite a relevant topic. I think personally, I'm always very cautious about the things that I say. I try to watch what I say very carefully. I don't want to offend anyone ever. So that's really interesting. The next question, how hard is it to believe in yourself when you feel as if everyone is against you? What do you think, Charlotte? How hard is that? I think that would be pretty hard.
I feel like it's self-doubt, especially when you're like 13, 14, 15. Like, I think that follows you into your 30s. I don't even know, like believing in yourself. Like some people, they have a strong sense of self, but most of the time, like when you're figuring out who you are and stuff, you tend to just think, if someone thinks that you're not one way that you believe, you kind of just agree. Because like, who am I to be narcissistic or arrogant, right? Like, I don't want to say that I am really good at something that everyone clearly thinks I'm not, right?
Right.
So
this Thanks, Charlotte. This next question, I want you to keep this in mind as we introduce our speaker. So, Charlotte, you're going to give a little introduction to our speaker here. What is the definition of a true friend? We're not going to answer that, but I want you to keep that in mind. All right, so Charlotte, I'm gonna step back here and I'm gonna let you go ahead with the introduction. Okay.
All right. So, hey, Westmount. I'm Charlotte, if you didn't know already. I am a member of Student Council, and again, just on behalf of the Anti-Bullying Committee, we have to thank for this amazing project. I'd like to introduce you, Adam, our keynote speaker for the period. So, Adam.
Hello.
Hello. Can I go through your little description?
Yeah, sure.
Right. Okay. So, Adam is now a student at Vanier College, right? Yeah. But he's here today at Westmount to tell you his story. So, while he was in secondary 3, he went through a lot of rough moments and made a lot of unhealthy decisions along the way. Some of you are going through some personal challenges of your own, and Adam here is hopefully could be the catalyst to your change. So without further ado, Adam Aktas.
Thank you. That was amazing. Let me just say that it is my first presentation in over a year. This is my first time doing it online, and I am kind of nervous. Normally, I stand in front of that beautiful auditorium right behind you, and I'm performing in front of over 200 students. So doing it online with just my webcam and my little microphone here, it's not the same. So thank you guys for having me, and allow me to share my screen. Please let me know if you see it, because I am not a tech guy. You guys see my screen, right?
Yeah, we see it now. So you would just need to full screen that.
Full screen? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my social media information. If anyone wants to reach out to me, there you go. And I will start telling my story. So my name is Adam. I currently go to Vanier College. I'm in the social science program and psychology major, graduating soon. I'm also I graduated from Lester B. Pearson High School, which is in Montreal North, which is where I live as well. I am a track and field athlete. So basically, my main event is a hurdler. I basically run and jump over sticks. I'm also a victim of post-traumatic stress, survivor of self-harm, a soon-to-be author, and a professional speaker. Also, the founder of Overcoming Hurdles. Get it? Because I'm a hurdler? Yeah. All right. So I'm here to tell you guys my story, which takes place on the years of 2014, 2015. So secondary 3, I'm 14 years old, right? And it all starts with my mom. See, now, I don't know about any of you, but if you ever done the beep test or the endurance run, you know that feeling, right? Of, struggling, trying to breathe, the dried saliva in your mouth that tastes like blood. Well, my mom just felt like that from walking from one end of the stage to another. Right, and it's a pretty scary thing, right? Because eventually she would have this heavy smoker's cough and coughing blood and struggling trying to breathe. And it's a very scary thing, especially when you see your mom going through that. And she was diagnosed with this thing called pulmonary embolism, which is basically blood clots in the lungs. So the doctors gave her a bunch of pills that would eventually melt the clots. And if that didn't work, then she would have to go through surgery. Right, so that's how I spent the majority of my summer, coming and going to the hospital. Now, I started my 3rd year of high school. That is me, yes. Big, fluffy hair, crazy look in the eye. Kind of giving that photographer a death stare. See, I came from an elementary school where I didn't have any friends. Right, I only had one friend. And I started high school, and I have a small group of friends. But, I reached secondary 3 where I reached this phase where I wanted the whole school to know who I was. Right, so in my school, the easiest way to do that was to be stupid, get detentions, get suspensions, going to smoking cigarettes, going to smoking weed. I never got addicted to these things. I only did it when I was out in public so people can see that I was doing it. when really all it did was it made me stink. It made my fingers stink, and it really affected my athletic life, right? A sport that involves endurance and strength, smoking doesn't really help that whatsoever. In terms of academics, I didn't even act like I paid attention in any of my classes. When the term 1 report card came, it showed the only subjects that I passed was English, art, and phys ed, right? 3 of the easiest subjects, right? Now that's how I spent the majority of 2014, right? Going to the hospital, that has to go to work, and I got to take care of my sister, then I'm going to school, being destructive, I'm getting detentions, getting suspensions, being sent to the office every now and then, going to practice. But that's how a typical day was for me. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Towards the end of 2014, something happened, right? So let me just paint the picture for you, okay? So this little circle here. This is Lester B. Pearson High School. I live on this side. I live far from one of my friends, right? And the majority of people from Lester B, they live in another neighborhood. So they got to take the bus right after school to go home. I walk. I live a 5 to 10 minute walk. And I normally walk home with one of my friends. So this one day, December 15th, 2014, instead of going home, we went to our friend's house, which was on the other side, 2 minute walk on the other side of school, right? So we go, we chill, we hang out longer than we were supposed to. And, it's starting to get dark outside. My friend says, okay, Adam, you know what? Let's just get our stuff and go. So we did. We got our stuff and we were out. Now, it's 4:30 in December. We're Canadian. We know what 4:30 in December looks like, right? Kind of like this. Especially in the area where my high school is. See, you guys are in Westmount High School, right? Outside your front doors is St. Catherine Street, one of the most popular streets in Montreal, right? There's cars passing by your street every second of the day, right? But our high school was on this hill where it was, in the daytime, there was cars passing by, people walking around, kids in the playground. It's a popular area in the daytime. But when that sun goes down and it's as dark as night, it becomes a very lonely, sketchy area. So we're walking home, right? Like I said, we had to get to the other side of the school in order to get home. So we're walking down this path. I took a picture of this when it was sunny. And we're walking down this path. We had to get over here. As you can see, this is the teacher's parking lot. We had to get down this street, right? And right where this one-way sign is, right where the stop sign is, there was a group of 15 to 20 guys just right over here. Right now, I didn't think anything of it. My friend got a little paranoid. She's like, there's people there. What are we going to do? It was pretty scary. It was just us two and these 15 to 20 guys. It was like we were the only people on the planet. There were no cars passing by. There was no one walking on the streets. There was no kids in the park, which was right over here. It's dark, it's lonely, no one's going to be in the park, plus it's winter. There was no teachers in the parking lot. School ended 2 hours ago. It was just us two and these 15 to 20 guys. So I said, okay, you know what, look, just don't look at them. We'll go around, and that's what we did. We went around them, we cut through here, we got to the office door, which is where we had to cross the street to take this even lonelier street to get home. Like literally we are at one end of the stage, and our high school is at the other end of the stage. That's how far we are from the school. So we're walking, we're talking, and then we hear people laughing and running towards us. We turned around, and there was 5 guys running up to us, all in masks. One guy came up to my face and he asked me, "Do you have the time?" Like, really? Do I have the time? I mean, 5 guys in ski masks, lonely street. Understand that this street was so lonely and dark that if these guys killed us, our bodies wouldn't be found for hours. That's how lonely and dark this street was. And these 5 guys in ski masks, just come to me and ask me if I had the time. Like, I'd have to be a real idiot to take out my phone and give them the time, right? Well, I was an idiot. I took out my phone from my back pocket. I looked at the time. I put it back in my pocket, and I looked at the guy, and I went 4:31. That was the time, 4:31 p.m. It was December 15th, 2014, 4:31 p.m. Now, he came up to me, asked me for the time, and I gave it to him. My job was done. Like, it's over. I gave you my job, I gave you the time, now go away. They weren't going away. Right, so we continued to walk, and then they started speaking French. Now, my French it's very weak, right? It's very basic. It's not fluent. I can still understand what you're saying. I could speak to you in sentences, but I don't fluently understand, you know? So these guys are speaking French, but I can't understand a word they're saying, not because my French is weak, but because my heart is beating so fast, my heart is beating so loud, I can't understand a word they're saying. I know something bad's about to happen. We all know something bad's about to happen, right? It's not rocket science. So we're walking, and all of a sudden, one guy wraps his arms around me, tries to tackle me to the ground. My friend starts running in the street. I'm trying to fight this guy off. One guy grabs me on the left, the other grabs me on the right. They throw me to the ground, and they just start beating on me. Now, they were beating on me for less than a minute. They decided to pick me up, make me look at my friend. She's in the street. She's running. She's screaming. She's crying. She's terrified. She took out her phone. She's about to call the police. One of the guys who were on me got up on me, ran up to her, punched her, took her phone, and ran off. Now, I don't know why the guys who had me wanted me to see that, but right after that happened, they threw me back on the ground, and they just started beating on me. Now, it's winter, right? It's not summertime. It's not springtime. They didn't have shoes. They had boots, but they didn't have regular boots, did they? No. I remember 2 of them had steel-toed boots. 2 of them had steel-toed boots. I remember 2 of them had Timberlands, and another one had a pair of black shoes. It wasn't a popular brand. I think it was a cheap brand, but it was all black. Right? But those steel-toed boots. I was getting jumped on the back, punched in the face, stomped on the face, kicked in the nuts, which was very painful with those boots. Like, I was being crushed on one side of my head with steel-toed boots, while the other side of my head was being crushed against solid concrete and ice. I'm surprised my skull didn't crack from the amount of hits I took that day. They were beating me for about 5 minutes. I woke up to my friend who was crying down the street. She saw that I wasn't moving. She thought I was dead. She didn't have her phone with her. She didn't know what to do, so she was going hysterical on the street. Right? I got up and I realized that, surprisingly, they didn't get anything from me. My phone was still in my pocket. My wallet was still in my pocket. Our uniform pants, the pockets are very slim, right? So it's hard to literally force your hand down there and try to get what you want. So anyways, I got up and I realized, hey, they didn't get anything from me. But now I'm thinking, wait a minute. If 5 guys couldn't get what they wanted from me, I remembered the 15 to 20 guys like 30 seconds away. Okay, they're probably going to come finish me off, right? So I get up and I tried to run. I had so much pain in my back, I couldn't even stand. But I didn't care, right? I'm running for my life. I got up, took a few steps, and I fell down. Got up, took a few steps, and I fell down. Got up, took a few steps, and I fell down. Eventually, I caught up with my friend. We got to another part of the street. A guy saw us, and he called the cops. Cops came, they asked us a bunch of questions, we answered all the questions, we gave them our contact information, but that's all that they could have went on. I mean, 5 guys, average height, average teenage years old, it could be anyone. So that's all they could have done. Now, I went to the hospital that night because, like I said, I had serious back pain. I couldn't stand as tall as I'm standing right now. When I got to the hospital, they had to put me in a wheelchair because I couldn't walk from point A to point B without holding on to something to support my body weight. And what's crazy to think was just 2 days ago, I was at practice perfectly fine. I wanted to make sure nothing was broken, right? See, I mean, I'm 14 years old. I'm going to need my back for the rest of my life. I don't want nothing to be broken. I went in for some x-rays. This is not my x-ray, by the way. I went in for some x-rays. Turns out I was perfectly fine. Nothing was broken. Just a little bit bruised up. Doctor gave me some Advil. 2 weeks later, I was fine. Now, I didn't think the mental pain was going to be much more violent than the physical pain. See, a month after the attack, I was struggling with post-traumatic stress or symptoms of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Right, see, and I'm learning in psychology, well, not a few semesters ago, we learned about post-traumatic stress, right? And it turns out that 50% of Canadian youth will struggle with post-traumatic stress. Right, and it can be caused by anything that can lead to trauma. Whether you were in a car accident, if you were held at gunpoint, if you saw something that was really disturbing, can cause post-traumatic stress. Now, what does post-traumatic stress feel like 14 years old? Well, let me paint you the picture, right? So picture this, you're lying down, you're trying to fall asleep. But you're not really trying to fall asleep, right? No. You're thinking. You're thinking of all the things you did today, all the things you should have done today, what you should have done yesterday, what you're going to do tomorrow, about your friends, gossiping, whatever. Your mind is going up with all these random thoughts and these random questions. But now, what do you think about when there's nothing to think about? In my case, my mind went straight to the attack. Hearing the way the guys were running up to me, asking if I had the time, I saw as clearly as I could see my computer right now, my friend getting punched in the stomach and getting her phone taken away from her. The image still goes on in my head. I can still remember what the guy was wearing. Black boots, black pants, a gray goose jacket, and an orange toque with a little pom-pom on it, orange and blue toque. And it would go through my head every day. Right? Then my mind would just play tricks on me. Instead of feeling the way the guys had grabbed me, I felt as if a knife had just run through my back, and I would feel adrenaline punched in my body. I would feel every attack. I would feel every hit that was given to me that day. It felt so real. Right? Struggled with insomnia. Insomnia is a common thing in teenagers. Some of you probably didn't sleep until 2 a.m. last night. Right? It's a common thing in teenagers, but mine wasn't caused by being a regular teenager. It was caused by things like flashbacks and nightmares, and they were so realistic. Right? Most people who struggle with post-traumatic stress are scared. Right? I live 5 to 10 minutes away from my high school. I don't live far. Right? I live a 5 to 10 minute walk. I walk to school every day. I walk back from school every single day. I don't know what my attackers look like. It could be anyone. It could be any of you right now. They were my age, my height. Any one of you put on a mask, you're my attacker from 8 years ago. Yeah, you were probably 8 years old, but hey, it's possible. It's possible. Right? I don't know what they look like, but they know what I look like. And they also know they didn't get anything from me. I'm still a target. Right? So if I'm walking to school or anywhere else by myself, and I see a group of teenagers walking towards me, my heart would start to race. those are my attackers right there. Okay, maybe I should, get ready for a fight. I mean, I'm not a big guy, right? I was like 5'6" at the time. I was very skinny. I was like 120, 125. I can't take down 3, 4 guys by myself. All right, maybe I'll just run away, right? I mean, I'm in track. I'm a hurdler. I'm pretty fast. I can hop over fences like that. Maybe I should just run away. But there's another group of teenagers over there, and over there. So maybe I'll just go home, wait for a bit, and then go back out. Or maybe I'll just change direction, breathe for a bit, and then go. And I would start hyperventilating about, the guy has the same jacket, the guy has the same hat, the guy is laughing, he's looking at me, and I would feel like I was about to pass out. And those were the thoughts just going through my head every single day. Now, most people who struggle with post-traumatic stress, they suffer from fear, which was one of my main problems, right? Because now I'm different. I went from being the loudest guy in the room to now one of the quietest. I went from wanting to go out every day, stay super late, to now just wanting to stay home. I became very antisocial, and it wasn't who I was. My friends would ask me, "Hey, Adam, let's go out. Let's go to Dario's house. Let's go to the party." I'm like, "No, man, I can't. I'd rather just stay inside. I'm pretty scared to go out." I'm different. All because these 5 guys wanted something from me, and they beat me very violently just to get whatever they wanted. It just changed my whole social life. Right? Some people struggle with fear. Other people struggle with anger. Now, I can't see you, but I know for sure, and normally I would ask people, raise your hand if you get angry. You definitely get angry. If you don't raise your hand, you're lying to me. Right? Anger is a common human emotion. We all get angry. Right? But you see, I would go from as calm as I am now to straight up rage mode. And I would bring that attitude to school. And it got to a point where I was getting so many detentions and suspensions that I was about to be thrown out. I got suspended 3 times in 2 weeks. That's got to be some kind of record or something, right? I mean, come on now. 3 times in 2 weeks. Like, not even the juvie kids could do that. It was something I was kind of proud of, but also very disappointed in myself. 3 times in 2 weeks. Now, I remember the vice principal at the time. She brought me into her office. I sat down, and she looked at me and she said, "Adam, you got like 5 detentions this month, 3 suspensions in 2 weeks. If you get 1 more suspension, you're going to get expelled. We're going to just send you to perspectives. Like, we can't handle this behavior." Right now, I'm just sitting there. Right? Remember, I'm this angry teenager. Right? I'm this angry teenager who, she doesn't know what I'm going through. She doesn't know what I have to go through when I get home. So I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm giving her attitude, like typical, typical troubled teenager. Then she pulls out her monitor. She pulls up my Term 2 report card. Term 2 report card showed that the only subjects that I passed in Term 2 was English and phys ed. I failed English. I passed English with a 61, and I passed phys ed with a 90 something because I was an athlete. Right? So she's looking at me and says, "Adam, you're going to fail. It's the end of February. There's about 4 months left of Term 3, which is worth the most. And if you do not buck up right now, you are going to repeat Secondary 3. And I'm just still sitting there giving her attitude, not listening to what she's saying. She's trying to teach me what's best for me. And I'm just ignoring her advice. Right? But then when I got home and I actually processed the information, I understood what I was in. I felt like this, right? I felt like this specifically because at the top of the hill, I didn't want to fail. Why didn't I want to fail? Because I didn't want to leave my squad. Right? All my friends, all my best friends were with me. I didn't want to fail and go back to the grade below me, because let me say one thing, the grade below me, in kinder words, I will call them idiots. I will call them idiots, and I did not want to be in that group, right? It was mostly immature students, and I did not want to be there. I mean, some of you are probably smiling right now because you know exactly what kind of students I'm talking about. I don't want to be with them. I want to be with my friends, where I'm supposed to be, right? So when she told me that, it gave me a second thought of my academics, right? So I started paying attention more in my class. I started concentrating more, reviewing my notes, and preparing myself mentally for this exam, for this quiz. And hey, it was paying off. So now mid-March 2015, everything seemed to have been balancing out, right? My mom was feeling better. She was getting better. She was recovering. Uh, I was concentrating more in my class. I wasn't getting in trouble. I was focusing on reading rather than hanging out with my friends and doing something stupid. Focusing on the track season. I never touched another cigarette or marijuana ever again. I don't even remember the last time I had one. I was focusing on the track season, being healthy, taking care of my body, and I still struggled with falling asleep, but I was handling it better. It became part of a lifestyle, a routine. So I sort of accepted it. So in mid-March, everything seems to be okay for me, right? Everything seems to be balancing out. But I was so wrong. It actually just started. We got a call from our family overseas, and found out that someone who was so innocent and young at 11 months old had passed away. Passed away from SID, sudden infant death syndrome. Right? See, as scary as this may sound, some babies, they fall asleep, never wake up. You can even search it up afterwards. It's called SIDS. See, that one took me down. That one took me down. See, I met him when he was only 5 months old, and he was the most innocent thing, right? Laughed at everything that I did, grabbed at my big hair that I had at the time, laughed at everything that I did, wrapped its fist around my finger. Something so innocent had just left the world. So now I just feel like life is attacking me, right? Life is just attacking me. I thought I was taking a few steps forward, but actually life just threw me down the stairs and said, no, you're not. I thought my mom had been getting better, but I was wrong. She had started coughing more blood and literally almost vomiting blood every single day. And I had to see that and hear that. I tried to concentrate on this exam. I tried to concentrate on this test, and I would just break out in tears. The whole class just looking at me. The kid who's so quiet and pissed off is now crying in the classroom and sent to the guidance counselor's office. Which nothing's wrong with that, but still. I had all this stress on my head, right? See, we all have a stress reliever. Whenever we're stressed, some people, they sing, they dance, they draw, they play video games, they work out, whatever. Mine was track. Whenever I was stressed, I just go on a track and sprint all my problems away. Track season had actually got canceled that year because there was a lack of participants. And I couldn't go out to any other outdoor track because, it's end of March, so it's still around winter, it's still cold, I didn't have the proper gear. So I had to keep it all inside, which is the worst thing that you could possibly do. I felt so alone, right? See, no one knew what I had to go through. No one knew what every day felt like for me. No one knew what it was like to watch your mom vomit blood every single day, pick her up, bring her to the bathroom, clean it up afterwards, hide your sister from seeing that. No one saw what I saw. No one heard what I heard. No one knew what it was like to struggle with post-traumatic stress at 14 years old. No one knew what my flashbacks looked like. No one knew how scary it was for me to go out and meet random people. No one knew what I went through. No one knew what I was going through. No one knew what it was like to battle for your grades with very little support. It was a very lonely experience, right? Hopelessness, where you don't think anything is going to get better for you at all. And that's what it felt like for me. I felt like every day something bad was going to happen to me, and why? I felt like as if something bad was going to happen to me, and why continue? Why continue? I'm not going to go into much detail about this, but I will say that I have some scars. I have some scars. I didn't want to move forward. I felt like as if something bad was going to happen to me in the next few days. It was really scary. It was really dark, and that's all I'm going to emphasize on that. But something changed. And this is where I get into hope. This one day, I couldn't sleep. Right? I woke up at around 3:30 and I felt pumped on adrenaline. Right? I don't really drink coffee, but trust me, I felt pumped. I felt like I had around 10 cups, and I felt perfectly energized that I could run everywhere I wanted to. Right? So 3:30 in the morning, I can't go back to sleep. And that feeling that you get when you want to take a nap from 6:30 to 7:30 or 7:15, but then you wake up at 10. You're pretty frustrated, like you're pissed off. That's what happened to me, right? I fell asleep around maybe 10, but I woke up at 3:30, and I couldn't go back to sleep. Had all this energy pumped up in me, so I just said, you know what? What do I do now? So I don't know why I did this, but it changed everything. This truly changed everything. Now, 3:30 in the morning, pick up my term 2 report card to actually look at it this time, actually analyze it, and I was disgusted with myself. 32 in science, 27 in history, 40 in math. Like, these marks were garbage. They weren't going anywhere. I had around 2.5 months left of term 3, and I was making no effort whatsoever to improve my grades. So, now is the time. 3:30 in the morning, pick up my math copybook, and I just start studying. I had school in a few hours, but I didn't care. I just picked up my math copybook, and I was looking over polynomials at the time. I remember I had a test that week, and instead of getting a 0 to a 20% like what I regularly get, I aced it with a 96, the highest in the class. By the end of the term, my marks had increased by over 50%. For example, math for term 1, I had a 31. Term 2, I had a 40. But for term 3, I earned myself to an 86. I became the star student in just 1 month. 1 month and 30 days, I went from the lowest mark in the class to one of the highest marks in the entire section. And I didn't think it was even possible, but I was proud of myself. So now I get my term 3 report card thinking, yo, I passed. Right, I'm super proud of myself. Right now, I can't wait to start secondary 4 because I had this new mindset. Right, I understood the difference between having a teacher say, "Good job, I'm proud of you, keep up the good work," was way better than having a teacher say, "Get out of my class or go to the office." I understood that hard work truly does pay off, and that if you were to choose the wrong path, your rewards are very limited. Whereas if you focus on the right path, the sky's the limit. You could be anything that you want to be from here. Just focus on the right path. I understood the difference between giving my mom a test with a 0 or 20% for her to sign is nothing compared to having her sign a test with 100% on it. You know that face your mom makes when she's proud of you? Right? She's so proud. She just wants you to do well. And you are. That's how it felt. I felt amazing. I felt motivated. So now I start secondary. I'm spending my summer prepared. I'm making a goal for myself. I'm saying, look, secondary 4 starts. I'm going to pass every test, every quiz, every assignment, every project. I'm going to make the star student in every single class. I'm telling all my friends this, listen to me. I'm going to be in honor roll next year in secondary 4. And they're looking at me like, Adam, come on, man. Summer just started. The school doesn't start for another 2 months. Let's go play basketball. So my social life is getting better. I'm hanging out with my friends more. And I'm improving my social health. So now, Sec 4 starts. I don't know about you guys, but we have this, at Pearson, we had this thing called Registration Day, which is like August 28th or August 29th. So basically you come to school, you hand in your forms, you get your schedule, you get your lock, you get your photo ID, and then tomorrow is day 1. That's how it was for us. Tomorrow was day 1. So I went to the teacher who was handing out the secondary 4 schedules. Hi, miss, can I have my schedule? Oh, my button is all tied up, looking like a proper gentleman. Hi, miss, do you have my schedule? She's looking. It's not here. Can you check again? She's looking. It's not here. Go to the office, maybe they have it. So I went to the office. I went to the secretary. Hi, miss, do you have my schedule? She's looking. It's not here. So what do you mean it's not here? I'm still a student in this. I'm still a student in this school. Where's my schedule? I can't come to school if I don't have a schedule, right? So now I'm freaking out, right? But then the vice principal, the same one that suspended me, the Voldemort to my Harry Potter, the Green Goblin to my Spider-Man, the Thanos to my Avengers, she walks in the room and she has my schedule. She says, here it is, Adam. You're repeating secondary 3. What? What do you mean I'm repeating secondary 3? I mean, I got an 86 in math. 86 in math. I feel like I can accomplish anything. And here you are now telling me that I'm going to repeat secondary 3? Why? She brings me to her office. Again. See, even though I got an 86 in term 3 in math, that final mark was brought down to a 61. Now, yes, I did pass math. It was brought down to a 61 simply because of the average. That 31 and that 40 took that 86, that hard-earned 86, and brought it down to a 61. Now, yes, I did pass math, but some of my subjects were worse, and the average was I had failed. But you see, I didn't know that I failed. See, normally when you get your report card back, on the cover of your report card, it would say repeat secondary 3, repeat Sec 3 math, go to summer school for Sec 3 French. My report card didn't say jack. Okay, it had a red star in the corner, but I mean, hey, a red star in the corner means good job. It doesn't mean you're going to fail. If you want to tell me I'm going to fail, put a sad face. That makes more sense. Makes more sense. So don't put a red star. Even a kid could say, oh, yeah, that's a good thing. Anyways, turns out I failed. So I'm pleading with her in the office. Miss, look, you know the things I went through. You know everything I went through. You know that I didn't have a good experience. You know that I went through a lot. But you can see that I'm different now. I mean, look, the numbers speak for itself. I got an 86 in math. Give me this shot. Let me show you that I could make it in Sec 4. She said, Adam, there's nothing I can do. Here's your schedule. You start secondary 3 again tomorrow. Now, you could just imagine what's going on in my head, right? I am pissed off, bro. I am frustrated, right? Now, see, for those of you who don't know, when you fail a year of school, it sucks. Why did it suck for me? Because I was alone. I went from seeing my friends, 8 to 10 hours a day, to seeing them 1 to 2 hours a day. Our friendship was slowly drifting away. And I can tell you now, as we are in the future, April 29th, 2021, they graduated June 2017, so around 4 years ago. June 2017, I have not heard a word from them since. My best friends. Right? I can't tell you if they're dead, alive, single, or taken. Our friendship was just slowly drifting away. I still see them on their Snap stories, hanging out together at parties. But hey, do I get an invite? No. Because our friendship slowly drifted away. Simply because now they're up above and I'm down below. Right? It sucks that I can't, it sucks that in 10, 20 years from now, when they're looking at the graduation section of the yearbook, they won't see my photo. They won't even see my name. It's pretty sad. I'll just be forgotten. It sucks that I can't do the graduation goals, right? Take the graduation hat and throw it up in the air with them. Can't take the squad goals where we pose up together. No, simply because they're up above and I'm down below. And it sucks. Now, start secondary 3 again, and I'm pretty depressed, right? Like I'm learning everything I already learned. I'm separated from my squad, and I am just surrounded by idiots in my grade. Right? I could not. Don't get me wrong. I had a few friends, but the majority of them, oh my God, man, I could not stand it. Like I didn't want to go to school at all. It was a rough crowd. Learn everything I already learned. It was pretty sad. But then I started to think. I started to think. Maybe everything happened to me for a reason. Maybe everything I've been through happened to me for a reason. Maybe I got jumped for a reason. Maybe I can't see it now, but eventually, through time, I will. So I passed that year with flying colors, and I started to speak. See, I didn't know speaking was something that I was meant to do. It all started when a man named Leo Barb, a survivor of 2 bullets who was shot here in Montreal, a couple of metro stations away from Westmount, actually, he came and he spoke at my high school. He actually spoke at Westmount a week after he spoke at my school. Right, so he was telling us his story about how he was shot twice and how he was struggling from post-traumatic stress, and about how he tried to take his life and how he changed everything and decided to create programs and a name, Think, Don't, Shoot, and how he started to impact youth. And when he spoke to us, I felt like I could relate to everything he went through. So I went to go speak to him at the end of his performance. We even took a selfie together. There's 15-year-old me. He became my mentor. And he still is to this day, actually. Still gives me tips, and we were actually supposed to collab at some time in Ontario. So he became my mentor. And like I said, he spoke at Westmount a week after this same photo was taken. Right, so I started to speak. I started speaking to teachers and counselors, telling them my story about how I went from this badass student who was always getting into trouble and focusing on the wrong path to now being this new kid who's doing nothing but good. And they found my story inspiring. Then I started speaking to people individually. So we all have that one friend that we turn to when we need advice. I was that friend. But I was that friend on another level. Like, I would talk my friends out of suicide. I would talk my friends out of disturbing times that they've been through, and I would change their life. And that's when I knew that, hey, this is something that I'm supposed to do. Then a teacher invited me to speak to our students in a classroom of around 20 to 30 students. Then I spoke at coffee houses. I don't know if you guys have this in your school, but coffee house is an event where you could perform your talent. It was a small talent. And I started speaking to crowds of 50 to 80 people. And this is where I realized I had something, because not only did I inspire students, but I inspired adults as well, teachers, counselors, social workers, principals. And then in April 2018, I spoke at the EMSB leadership camp in front of almost 250 students. There's CJ over there. This is where I knew that I had something in me. And last year in February 2020, I went on a Perseverance Week tour, speaking at 3 schools and booking tours and speaking at schools across Montreal. And this has become a career for me, and I'm in love with it. And I created Overcoming Hurdles at the beginning of the beginning of 2020. Right, Overcoming Hurdles. I have the shirt on right now, and I have I have bracelets, and I was supposed to create so much more before COVID just stopped everything. Overcoming Hurdles isn't something big now, but I believe it will be soon. It's simply a name. It's a name where in around 5-10 years, I see myself creating programs, scholarships, giving it to students who I believe can change their life for the good, the greater good. That's Overcoming Hurdles for me. See, 5-6 years ago, I didn't believe that I had any purpose whatsoever, that I wanted to end my life. 5-6 years ago, I didn't believe that I would graduate high school with honors on a Perseverance scholarship and now attend a college and soon plan to go to university, one of the top universities in Canada. 5-6 years ago, I didn't believe that my mom was ever going to get better. She's now recovering after surgery. She's breathing perfectly fine. We are taking precaution with COVID, but still she's doing much better. 5-6 years ago, I didn't believe that I'd be in front of you right now, speaking to you, inspiring students, traveling across schools. I didn't believe that I had this in me. See, we all have a purpose, right? We all have a purpose. But I get it that right now, some of you are going through some rough times. Some of you are going through some rough times right now. I'll even speak on myself when I say this, that this last year alone, I thought 5-6 years ago was my life-changing year, but within the last year, it's been a huge life changer. I started 2020 on recovering from a breakup that was the most painful experience I've ever had in my entire life. Starting tours and starting Overcoming Hurdles. Everything seemed to be going well, but then COVID hit and everything just splashed down. Track season got canceled. I'm surrounded by nothing but my thoughts. And it was just a huge roller coaster, mostly a downward spiral. So it's been rough. It's been rough. And I get it that some of you are going through that too right now. Some of you are going through some things in school with your friends or with yourself. Some of you are being held back from what you do best. Some of you are going through something deep down. It could be a relationship or something that's going on with your friends or something that's going on with your own mind. I know what that feels like. Where you're struggling to see light at the end of this tunnel because it's so dark. Life's got you backed up against the wall. It's just pushing you and you just don't know how to get out of here. You're asking yourself, why me? Everything bad seems to be happening to me. I'm just trying to pass. I'm just trying to do good for myself. I'm just trying to take care of my mom, my sister. But why is this happening to me? And it's a very, very lonely experience, right? But perseverance, right? That's what overcoming hurdles is about. One thing I've learned within the last year and within 5-6 years ago, we're not in control of what life puts in our path, but we are in control of how we respond to it. Les Brown says, life hits you, you can either cry or you can get up and say, hey, I'm not going down yet. I'm simply not going to accept that this is it for me. I'm not going to just stand here and let you beat on me. I am going to take a stand and say, I've got more in me. Perseverance, right? True strength. We live in a scary world. There is no denying that. We live in a scary world where things aren't promised. Legends die unexpectedly. Legends just disappear. Tragic events just change lives in a negative way. The amount of things that's happened within the last year alone is proof of that. Relationships that break more than just a heart. Substances that people lose themselves in. These small choices that can change every little aspect of your life. It's a scary world. It is a scary world. But trust me, you are not the only one. You are not the only one. See, I get it. You're probably going through some things right now. Everyone's going through their things. You're going through some things. Your friends are going through some things. Your teachers are going through some things. I'm going through some things. Even CJ is going through some things. And CJ is one of the coolest guys in the world. Everyone's going through their things. But one thing I want you guys to take from my talk today is your decisions determine your destiny, not your conditions. That's what I have on my bracelet right here. Decisions determine destiny. That's the main motto of overcoming hurdles. Doesn't matter what happens to you. It matters how you respond to it. Decisions determine destiny. Everything you do today, everything you decide to do today is going to determine where you are in the next few weeks, 6 months, 10 years. That decision to study for an extra 30 minutes today is going to determine if you pass that test next week. That decision to give it your all at practice today is going to determine if you win that championship that will come up. That decision to focus on the right path of life, to say, hey, I'm not having another cigarette. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I am going to strictly be healthy and you can't stop me. That simple decision can change your life for the rest of your life. Decisions determine destiny. And I am a pure example of that. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for picking up my term 2 report card at 3 o'clock in the morning and saying, hey, I got to buck up. I got to bounce back from this. Decisions determine destiny. You all have power within you.
Adam,
yeah, what's up, man?
Sorry to interrupt, man.
Yes, fine. I'm almost done.
We got the bell's gonna ring in a minute. I just want to make sure that I have a chance to thank you for everything. So
Okay.
just so you know, we're about less than a minute away now.
Okay, yeah. So sorry about that. I'll just end this real quick on hope. On hope. One of my favorite scenes is the Batman scene where he's broken from Bane and he's left hopeless in despair. But what does he do? With that small light, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, only if you decide to keep on digging. With that small light, he climbs out. Hope exists. And that's all I have for my presentation. I'm so sorry. Like I said, this is online. It is so different. Normally when I'm on stage, this will go by in like 20 minutes, but this took, it was different. So I thank you. And this is if any student wants to reach out to me, there is my information. And yes, I thank you guys for having me. And wow, this has been an experience.
Thank you, Adam. And I know the bell just rang for our students, so I'm going to let our teachers go. But I just want to say thank you so much for that story, that story of perseverance and hope. and it certainly resonated with me. And I hope it struck a chord with a lot of our students. I want to remind our students that it is an intense time. I have spoken to a lot of our Sec 2 students lately, but I want to remind everybody that we have 2 guidance counselors at the school, Karen and Mandy. Their doors always open for you if you feel like you need support. And if for whatever reason they're not available, myself, Ms. Kashmar, we will find time to give you that space. And so you always have a place to turn to in case you are struggling right now. So I want to make sure that gets out there. Adam, thank you so much once again. I really appreciate it. It's the first time I've heard your story, and it really resonated with me again. So I want to thank you. I want to thank Charlotte as well for bringing you, and all of Student Council, CJ. Thanks to everybody, and I look forward to doing it again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adam. Like, just quickly, your story, I know it reached me, like, it was too real at some point. I was like, no, stop it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I got to end it here, but thank you again, and all the best, everyone.
See you guys. Have a nice day.
Charlotte, you want to stick around? And
Yeah, I'll be sticking around.